You know, we live in a universe that, well, it just works. Gravity keeps our feet on the ground, light zips along at a constant speed. It's all very orderly. But have you ever stopped to think, where did those rules actually come from? Were they baked in from the very first moment? Or, and this is the wild part, did they somehow bubble up out of pure chaos? That's the huge question we're diving into today.
So let's play along with a thought experiment from the brilliant physicist Professor Wheeler. I want you to imagine for a second that you get to build the universe. You've got this total blank slate, a complete void. So where do you start? Seriously, what's the first step? Do you sit down and write out the entire rulebook, all the laws of physics, and then hit the go button? Or is there maybe another way to do it?
In that question right there, that's the great puzzle at the heart of cosmogony, which is just the fancy word for the study of the universe's origin. We look around and we see this cosmos that runs with incredible precision, right? It's all governed by these laws of physics that seem totally set in stone. The big mystery is, where did that rule book come from in the first place?
And here's what's so wild about this. When you're trying to figure out how it all began, you can't take anything for granted, not a single thing. It's so easy to just assume that the laws of physics were always there, just kind of waiting for the universe to pop into existence. But no, when you're talking about the absolute beginning, everything, and I mean everything, including the rules of the game themselves, had to come from somewhere.
Okay, so this is where Professor Wheeler drops a truly mind-bending idea on us. He came up with this concept he called law without law. Sometimes it's also called order from disorder. And believe me, it's a completely radical proposal that just flips this entire problem right on its head.
So what does that actually mean? Well, here's the core of it. What if the universe didn't start with a neat, pre-written rulebook? What if the laws of physics that we study and rely on aren't fundamental at all? What if there's something that emerged? The idea is that the laws themselves actually evolved, slowly taking shape and solidifying over time, starting from a place of pure, total chaos.
And you just gotta love how Wheeler himself describes it. He literally says to imagine everything we see, all the regularities, the laws, the orbits of planets, all of it, coming into being out of something utterly helter-skelter, higgledy-piggledy, and random. I mean, what great words. It's an absolutely staggering thought, but it begs the question, right? How on earth could something like that even be possible?
Well, it turns out the clue to this cosmic puzzle might not be out in the distant stars. Actually, it might be right here on our own planet. You see, Wheeler found a powerful parallel for his idea in the history of life itself.
Yep, his big inspiration was none other than Charles Darwin. Think about it, the incredible story of evolution, all this amazing complexity, this myriad of order as Wheeler called it. It gave him the perfect analogy for how you can get something incredibly complex from something very simple, all without needing a pre-written plan.
And you can see the parallel really clearly when you put them side by side. So you've got the universe. It starts with the total chaos of the Big Bang and somehow results in these fixed physical laws. How? Well, that mechanism is still the great mystery. But then, look at life on Earth. It started with really simple organisms, and through a known mechanism, chance and natural selection, it resulted in the mind-boggling diversity of species all around us.
So let's just quickly break down how evolution pulls this off. It's beautiful in its simplicity. Step 1, you start with total disorder, just random genetic mutations, pure chance. Then, step 2, you add just one simple rule to the mix, natural selection. Basically, if a trait helps you survive, you're more likely to pass it on. And the result? Over millions and millions of years, you get these incredibly complex, perfectly adapted life forms. There's no grand designer, just randomness plus a simple filter.
Okay, so now let's take that amazing lesson and apply it back to the whole universe. What if the cosmos itself works the same way? Just imagine, in that chaotic, soupy mess right after the Big Bang, what if different physical laws and behaviors were being tried out completely at random? And what if the only ones that survived, the ones that stuck, were the ones that just happened to create a stable, long-lasting universe like ours?
And that, right there, was Wheeler's profound insight. And he got it straight from Darwin. Evolution is like our proof of concept. It's the evidence. It shows us that you don't need some detailed blueprint written out beforehand to end up with a masterpiece. It proves that you can, and this goes against all our intuition, get breathtaking, incredible order by starting with absolute, total disorder.
So what are the big takeaways here? Let's boil it down. First, the laws of our universe might not have been set in stone from the beginning. They might have actually evolved. Second, and this is a huge one, real complexity and order can, in fact, come from completely random, chaotic beginnings. And finally, we have a powerful real-world model for this in evolution. It shows us exactly how this seemingly impossible process can actually happen.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last, really profound thought to chew on. If the very rules of our reality aren't fixed, if they're just the ones that happen to win or stick during that chaotic beginning, well, what does that imply? For one, it could mean that other universes with totally different laws are out there, and it really forces us to wonder what other parts of the reality we take for granted are way more flexible than we could ever imagine.